Welcome back to Cryptolytics, giving you a fresh take on crypto analytics. Today, I'm going to go over just quickly a chart that I'm looking at for a potential point where this current bull run could go to and what the potential pullbacks will be. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so for this, we're actually going to have a look at 2019. So the end of the bear market from 2018 through till the start of 2019. So we're just basically going to compare what happened back then and see what it would look like if we were to do the same thing this time around, factoring in things like diminishing returns and stuff like that. So here I have on the chart, sitting here is the 2017 all-time high, or 2018 I should say, and the beginning of the bear market there. So overlaid, I've got a parabolic SAR on there, which is the 3-day PSAR, which is a very good performer, generally speaking, but you know, it's one of these ones where you get these periods where it doesn't perform very good, but you know, you pair it with other things in order to get better signals. But that's basically what these buy and sell symbols are on the chart. So using basic Fibonacci retracement, back then we had a top over here. Essentially we have the 0.618 and the 0.786, which is your golden zone. And as you can see, the relief rally pulled right into that pocket and then retraced from there. Now I've got a red box over here because that's the alignment here. So you could say this is an order block right here. So you've got supports and resistances, you know, resistance there, resistance around here, supports around here. So this order block here lines up with the Fibonacci as well. So that's what this box is here. Also, another thing that I like to look at is the SMA VWAP bands. And as you can see, we got straight into the VWAP bands. And I'm going to be using that for this cycle to, you know, roughly gauge where we could go in this cycle as well. So VWAP bands do crazy stuff. This is the logarithmic chart. So it kind of disappears off to the bottom here for a bit. But anyway, so we never actually got down to the bottom of them. The first time we actually got to the bottom of them was in the cycle we just had. So it just goes to show that moves are getting a lot less wild and Bitcoin is maturing. So we had this retracement in around July. So you could say this is the sell in May and go away. So June, July. So we kept actually running through May and then we topped out around June, which is also another common point in cycles to retrace from. And then basically we went down from there and then we found the bottom of the retracement and then basically started the bull market from there. So I think we have another potential to do the same thing. And down the bottom here, if you're wondering what this is the ADX and the DMI. The DMI is the directional movement index. So these help you gauge the strength of a particular trend, and they're great for divergences. So for example, you know, back here we saw there was a lower high over here, and that marked the end of the bull market. And we had a series of like a lower high. So we had a high here, then higher high, but we had a lower high on the DMI. So that's why I'm leaving this down here, just so you know you can gauge the strength of the trend and the exhaustion. It can be used in the other direction as well. So in this case, we had a low here and we had a lower low, but on the DMI and ADX, we had a high and a lower high. So that is a sign that this particular trend was exhausted. So we're going to zoom in here and look at sort of where we are right now. Also, just quickly before I move on, you saw the Fibonacci extension. There's 1.618 corresponded to the first top of the bull market. And that's important because I want to sort of use this as a gauge of how we can do the same thing. And it's not unrealistic to say that we can do that. We can do that because, you know, the bottom to the top was about 2000% roughly. So 2090%. And so, you know, you'd expect with diminishing returns, you get about half of that. So maybe 1000%, which is pretty extreme from bottom to top. And you'd think that that's not possible with Bitcoin now, but that's the 1000 there. So I'll go over that in a sec. So basically, as we can see here with the VWAP bands, that's these lines here. The VWAP bands, basically, they also acted as resistance here and to mark the second top. So you can see it can get pinned and stuck when things are going parabolic. But here you can see it acted as support. And when it acted as support, you know, so if you were in a short, if you did take this short here using the PSAR, so I use this 3-day PSAR as a swing trader for my Bitcoin holdings. So, you know, I bought down here at 19,000 and I'm just holding on to this and I'm waiting for that sell, which, you know, will come at some stage, but not sure yet when just yet. So that's why I'm kind of trying to work out when to get ready to take profit. And we could just deviate here and come back down. You never know. Something could happen. Maybe recession's finally announced in the news, and, you know, even though it's probably mostly priced in or factored in, you know, there is a chance that, you know, the market or manipulators use that as an opportunity to massively sell off to capture moves to the downside, as in short moves to the downside, using fear to drive the market down and collect liquidity. And there's a ton down below right now. So basically we can see the VWAP is coming down. Right now it's sitting at around, and it could come to any point in this band really, but it's sitting at between 39,000 and 44,000 at the moment. So with regards to that, this green line here, so you can see I've got the Fibonacci on the chart here. Not as easy to see as the other one because I removed the background, but if I turn the background up, you can see where it is. I just don't want it distracting and making a mess of the chart. So yeah, you can see the golden ratio zone here, this blue band. It's between the 618 and the 786. So let me just turn that background back off because I just think it's distracting. So now what are we looking at here with this red box? We're looking at an order block here. So this cluster of price action here is support around here, support here, resistance here, lots of liquidity around here. This is what's called an order block when you have a massive price movement sideways through a certain region. So you had it here, you had it here, you know, you had some resistance here. This is a huge and strong order block. So you've got the Fibonacci 618 on between this entire move here. You have this order block right here, and you have the VWAP bands right here. So in terms of confluence, yeah, and technical analysis being somewhat of a self-fulfilling prophecy, this is going to be a very, very, very strong resistance. So we're coming into resistance now anyway, because we have the low here and the high here. So this little band here is the next cluster of resistance around between 32 and 33,000. So yeah, maybe we just come up here, deviate above, maybe we pull back to 25K before going up to the next level. And then maybe that's where we get our sell in May and go away. So, you know, and maybe we just pull down back to this as I've just left this here because that's the end of the year. So a lot of the time with tax loss harvesting, this sort of thing can play out where you get big sell-offs into the end of the year. And then big runs after that. So we had it here basically, and we had it, we didn't really have it. This is the start of a bull market, probably a little bit different. So we're probably more akin to here. So as you can see, sold off into the end of the year, then boom, like, you know, we had the pandemic crash there, bit of an outlier, but yeah, so I guess that's what I'm looking at the moment. Now, do we pull back just to here because we have this level now is very strong. We have a, you know, resistance there, and now I feel like this is just going to act as strong support. Also the VWAP bands are down here as well, so these are going to slowly curve back around and kind of make our way back around here. That's the mid band, which as you can see often acts as support and resistance as well. And you know, the bottom band often acts as support. So, you know, if you shorted up here, for example, and then you were waiting for a mid-band sort of test, although if you're following the news, this is a lunar collapse, so you would have been like, I'm not buying now, that seems crazy. But, you know, that's usually the best time to buy is when it's crazy. You know, lunar collapse was 19,700 crazy. I mean, it was for a while, but it's not anymore. FTX collapse was 16,000 buying crazy. At the time it felt like it, but it's not now. That's just how this stuff works, right? So the bottom of the bands have gone crazy because of the wildness of the if I switch back to linear chart, well, this doesn't look so bad. So this is going to come up basically. You might be wondering what this big red box is here. Now this is like, now we're getting to crazy speculative territory where, you know, this is just kind of getting a bit ludicrous. So yes, we have the order block here. the inevitable resistance and most likely pullback. And now the upside target. So this is where the 1.618 sits. So I think this is kind of crazy, to be honest. I personally think that, this is probably more likely that 100K is front run and can't break it, and we take it on the next cycle. But again, if we go from the 1.618, then there's a good chance that this is the target for the next bull market. So yes, there's a possibility. Now, if we pull back even further, then say, for example, if we do get the inevitable retest of the 2018 bear market high or 2019 bear market rally high, then we'd be looking at this as a move back here, like so. That would be the move, which is pretty wild. So I'm just going to look at PSAR moves here, and then if that is the resistance, PSAR will probably flip around here. So 70%, pretty nice. PSAR would probably flip around here to a buy if it was to come back down here, 130, and then so on and so forth. So this red box down the bottom, this is the duration of time between the bear market bottom in 2018 and the top of the bull market. So if I just grab this here, there you go, top to bottom. So this is just an approximate duration of time that we could go through the next bull market. So you can see we're still pretty early. If you missed this pump at any stage, if you've missed this bull market or bear market rally or whatever you want to call this, then don't worry, you've got plenty of time. I would say, you've got this pullback to buy anything that you missed out on, or the inevitable run to the upside. So I'm going to be looking for things like this on the ADX DMI indicator, where we have this sort of loss of momentum. We're already getting bearish divergences at the moment on the RSI, but that's kind of what I'm looking at the moment. It's some sort of loss of momentum as a confirmation that, when we reach this order block, if we're losing momentum, then the chances of us breaking through are pretty slim. So even if you have to look right now, we have the momentum coming down. So, we could get another move up. So that's the thing. If we do push up to 40,000, then, that's going to probably move up. But you want to be watching this spike here. This comes up like so, and then forms a higher high, but we start doing this. Well, then that's when you know that the momentum is lost and you have yourself a bearish divergence like that. So that's what that will look like, essentially. I mean, roughly, if this happens. So that's what you look out for as a loss of momentum. Personally, I'm just waiting for this to finally flip. As you can see, since I've been using the PSAR like this since 2020. So this has been the performance. It's been pretty nice. It's been mostly wins with a couple of losses here at the start. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with my Bitcoin trading. Although, yeah, obviously this is not correct, the amounts that you can see here on the screen, but it doesn't really matter. So that's pretty much it for this particular analysis. This was just basically a rough, guide on what we could be looking at over the next couple of years if everything plays out as it did in 2019. So if you found this interesting, please leave a video a like and subscribe for more content like this, and leave a comment down below and let me know where you think we're heading to in this bear market rally or little bull market stint, or whatever you want to call it, and what your price targets are and why. So thanks for watching. Keep safe out there. This is Cryptolytics signing out. Have a good one.